And I'll ask Karen Brower I'll ask Cindy Ehlers, the assistant clerk, to read the meeting notice as posted in the front of the orange folder.
Let's just make sure I have my glasses.
Oh, Karen, you're in. I didn't see you. Okay, go ahead.
I don't have my cheaters on. Notice is hereby given to the qualified electors of the school district of Sevastopol that the annual meeting and budget hearing of said district for the transaction of business will be held in the all-purpose room of the Sevastopol School on the fourth Tuesday, being the 28th of August, 2018 at 6:30 in the evening.
Okay, thank you. For the purposes of anyone watching the film, on my left is Superintendent Kyle Lukey. On my right is Attorney Randy Nesbitt, our legal counsel for tonight. Beyond that is Carl Volkman, the district bookkeeper. Also in attendance, we have Principal Adam Baer, middle school and high school principal. Mr. Aaron Hiltz, elementary principal and assistant middle school principal. Melissa Margaret, pupil services director, and board members Jay Zansu, today, Cindy Ehlers, Keith Volkman, and Karen Brower. Thank you very much. We will now open the floor for the election of the chairperson. Would someone nominate someone to serve as chair?
I nominate Carl Wolfson.
I don't think we can nominate Carl because he needs to take minutes and everything.
And I'm also the business
Elizabeth. Nominate Stephen Tucholsky.
Yeah.
Lead the meeting.
I'll second it.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, can I hear a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot?
So moved.
Stephen Tucholsky is elected chairperson by unanimous ballot.
You need a second to that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Right here, and Randy will walk you right through it.
I'll walk you through.
Thank you much.
Okay, so you took over right here. Before you want to move on to the previous minutes. And so we're included in the book. And the questions are based on 5.
Okay. So moving on to section 5, previous minutes. They're currently located in the book. Previous minutes from annual meeting, August 22nd, 2017, pages 5 and 6 in the book. Does anyone have any discussion on those? Okay. Hearing none, they will be placed on file. Moving on to number 6, 2017-2018 financial report, pages 7 to 8.
Aaron, could you put this together in the PowerPoint?
Okay, so we will now review the 17-18 budget.
I got it. That's our
Fund 10 is the general fund, and we have the October 2017 adopted budget. At that time, our revenues, $9,209,337. Our expenditures were projected at $9,616,066. So we expected a deficit of $406,729 in the one-year budget. In June of 2018, we finished our financial year. This is unaudited. In fact, our auditors are here today and the rest of this week looking at the books. Our actual revenues were $9,375,816, so a little bit higher than projected. Our expenditures were less, but they were $8,881,498. So we end up with a surplus in the 17-18 budget of $494,318. So we have the explanation for why we had a surplus. Our revenues were higher than expected. We had interest greater by $84,213. That was because Carl Volkman, our business manager, joined a group of publicly owned entities that swept our money into a bigger, larger account and earned us a higher interest rate and earned us $84,213 more in interest than what we actually thought we'd receive this last year. So it was a great move by Carl. School activity income, that's ball games, plays, other activities that students and staff and families pay to get into. The increase was $7,792 more than expected. And then our E-rate federal grant, we were expecting about $8,000. We ended up getting $40,011. Also, our open enrollment, you have your revenue coming in versus the expense going out for the students that open enroll out. From our planned projection, we ended up with a greater $8,809 than previously projected. On the expense side, our salary and fringe, we spent $152,950 less on salary and fringe than what we thought we would. We had some late hires that were less expensive than their counterparts that had left us. We also had an administrative spot that we did not fill for the year at Dean students. And we saved some money on our changing of our insurance companies. Building and maintenance did not spend all of their budget. They had $124,277, and the main reason for that is because of the formation of the CFAC back in September. There was no sense spending money on projects within this building if we did not know what our future was going to be. So rather than spend that money on something that may not exist, we held off, and we will do the same this year until November. Transfer to Fund 27. Fund 27 is our special education cost. Fund 27 always has to be at zero or positive. It cannot go in the negative. We have to be conservative when we're planning for that because we don't know what our students' needs are going to be throughout the year and through registration and who walks into school the first week of the year. We had projected our cost to be $64,107 greater than what it ended up being. In our electricity budget, we had a surplus of $25,891, very similar to last year's. And then the gas for heat was $24,413. Last year we had almost $50,000 in that area, but we had a little colder spring, so we used a little more gas for heat this year. Transportation fuel was a savings of $11,807. Transportation maintenance, our maintenance Rock Lottenbach did a good job with our fleet of buses and vans, and we spent $20,840 less than expected. In the fiscal office, the district office expenses were $43,962 less than expected. Athletics, and that's kind of because of this income here, their total cost expenditures were $20,776 less than expected. We always earmark some money for our legal expenses with our lawyer, and that was $16,469 less than the previously planned. Textbooks, we adjusted which textbooks we purchased last year. We got a math series, and we had a surplus in textbooks of $25,082, and then postage and telephone, our rates and what we planned on spending, and that also counts for internet service, is $23,151 less than what we were planning on. Expenses, you always plan to be a little bit more, and income, revenue, you always plan to be a little bit less as a school because you have to be conservative. That was 17-18. Any questions? Okay.
Now you want to stay in the district and the principals, there is the presentation.
Okay. All right, so moving on to section 7, State of the District, the 2017-2018 Academic Progress Report. Mr. Bear, would you give your presentation?
Absolutely, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Thank you, Carl, I appreciate it. Thank you, it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to present to our community the state of our district and just really discuss the achievements and accomplishments that we had throughout the 2017-18 school year. Before I get started though, I'm really excited to introduce 2 new members to our administrative team this year, and I know it's an honor to work with these folks. In the short amount of time we've worked together, we've already accomplished a great deal. So I'd like to introduce to our community Mr. Aaron Hiltz. Aaron comes to us with a wide range of administrative experiences, and we're really excited to welcome him as our elementary principal and middle school dean of students. So welcome, Aaron. I'd also like to welcome Melissa Margraf, who has been part of our Sevastopol family for many years as a special education teacher, but this year she takes on a new role as our Director of Pupil Services. So thank you very much. As we prepare this presentation, it really is an honor. Our team wants the community to know that it's an honor to work and serve our Sevastopol community and students. So we really are excited about the accomplishments we've had last year. We've got a number of slides prepared for you, but I'm going to let Mrs. Margraf start with the goals that we have for tonight's presentation.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Again, I'm very happy to be here. It's been a great start to this school year, but we're here today to talk about the accomplishments that we had last year as a district. So tonight we would like to highlight the district and school-wide goals, our highlights of the year, and how we're looking forward as a district to keep improving. I'm going to start this off and talk a little bit about our learning goals that we had. The first one that we wanted to talk about today, or I want to talk about, is our math and English intervention that went from 4K to 12. Specifically, we increased the number of reading and math interventions across the school. There was a significant increase this year in the high school as well by adding an at-risk program, and that was intentional and targeted reading intervention for high school students. In addition, we continue to work in the middle school and in the elementary school with both our literacy and our math interventions. We also continue to progress monitor all of our students. If our students are not at grade level or not where they need to be, it's our obligation and what we do to make sure that we're progress monitoring to implement the most appropriate tools to increase student success. In addition, individuals also had individualized learning plans, and these were students across the boards. Any student that was struggling, teachers were intentional about how they were monitoring progress and implementing the goals that needed to be for students. Assistive technology really took off this year. Really proud to say, specifically in the special education department, we had a one-to-one technology, so every one of our special education students received a Chromebook for them to use throughout the entire school day. It was theirs. They were able to take it home as well. What that did is that increased their access to assistive technology, and then also how they interacted within the classrooms. So we used the Google Suite a lot, and there were a lot of tools that the students did use in there to help with modifications, assist with getting assistive technology immediately when they needed it. So it was very successful. Kids actually brought a lot of their Chromebooks home, and work was completed at home as well and they were thankful for the technology. And then the final thing I want to highlight on this screen here is our universal instruction. And last year there was a tremendous effort that happened between CESA 7 and our English language learner department. There was many planning meetings about how we can really target our population and make sure that our English language learners are receiving the best education that they can. So really proud of the work that was done. It was a lot of planning, a lot of collaboration specifically, and we're going to roll out and implement that plan this school year. So it's really exciting for us. That has been one population where we know that we need to increase our efforts. So we planned it, and now we're going to roll it out this coming school year, and it's really exciting.
Before I get into some of the elementary goals, I just want to thank Mr. Bear and Ms. Margrath, as well as Mr. Lukey and the board other people within the district. Just it's been wonderful to join the team here, and I just wanted to take this quick opportunity to say thank you. I've been very impressed, and I'm looking forward to getting the year started. The Handwriting Without Tears program, grades K4 through grade 2, focused on printing. Grades 3 through 5, the focus was on cursive writing. That was implemented to create some consistency, so as students are moving their way up, that the expectation is the same. Elementary science has been updated, and the staff did use some in-service time over the summer so that they could develop some strategies, some more hands-on strategies that tie in with the changes in science curriculum. They also did some writing focus, and a part of that was working on rubrics for kids to develop their writing more consistently, and that is something that we'll be continuing as we move forward. But those were two of the big initiatives this past year.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. And I just want to talk a little bit about some secondary objectives that we had for last year and accomplished throughout the school year. First thing that I want to talk about, and this is district-wide, but we have a textbook or curriculum review cycle that we go through. It's a 5-year review cycle, and the community and our students and parents should expect that we annually look at one curriculum area to make sure that we're meeting our goals and objectives and accomplishing all those tasks that are important to our students. So we did that last year at the secondary level in grades 6 through 12. In our math department, we were able to purchase new resources and align those resources with our curriculum. So that was really exciting. And this year, our students will all have new math books as a result of that. And another important goal that I'd like to talk about is probably one of the most important goals we can have for our students, and that is a successful transition to their future. So it's important. We have a short window to work with our kids, but they've got to make lifetime decisions about what they're going to do beyond high school. So that transition is really important to us, and the next two goals really speak to that. The first thing that I'd like to talk about is our academic and career planning services. Over the last 2 years, we've really done a tremendous amount to make sure that our kids transition successful. Why is that important? Because college is an expensive venture, and we all know how much it costs to go to college. Well, we find across the state of Wisconsin, across the nation, that our kids are entering college without goals, without career goals, without knowing what they really want to do. So it's our responsibility to prepare them. So we're doing a number of things to prepare our kids better so that they can transition into college and or career more successfully. Things that we do, we increased our guidance, our experimental learning, and specific instruction in career areas. Some of the things that we've really done over the past couple of years are career training programs, such as the home construction program. But I'm excited to say that we're adding a collaborative program with the hospital. It's a CNA certification that our students can achieve and realize full certification as a CNA leaving high school. So that's really exciting as well. So we continue to look for that. In addition, this happens at all levels from grades 6 through 12. So we have half days planned throughout the year, academic and career planning days. We call it Act for Your Future. So at the 6th grade level all the way to the 12th grade level, our kids are exposed to future career and college opportunities, and we're excited to continue that great work. In addition to that, we look to expand our dual credit options for students. And what that is, dual credit means that students can take high school and college credit at the same time. So we are continuing to look for options so kids can achieve college credit here in our classrooms. And we've done a number of great things. First of all, over the last 5 years, we've offered 12 different AP courses, which are college credited courses. In addition to that, we have several online and distance learning options. We work with Wisconsin Virtual School. We also work with ShoreNet, which is a distance learning opportunity where we can send and receive classes from other high schools and or colleges and universities. So it's really exciting to continue to expand that. One thing that I want to focus on specifically for a second, though, is our University of Wisconsin Oshkosh Cooperative that we have entered into. We worked really hard to achieve this opportunity last year, but the acronym is CAP, which is Dual Credit Option, where our teachers are certified to teach college courses. So with the completion of a pre-calculus class, for example, students have a UW Oshkosh transcript that can go to any college or university for the most part and be recognized as college credit. So it's a really exciting opportunity. We studied and planned, and our teachers were trained, and now next year we'll be able to offer 14 college credits. So it's really exciting. Mrs. Margraf is going to talk a little bit about the things we did with our staff to support them last year.
Thank you.
Well, I've heard it time and time again, what makes Sevastopol different, what makes us unique, what makes us stand out, and it definitely has to do with the staff that comes and works with the kids every day. So we honor that with some of the staff professional practice goals that we do have. The first one that I want to highlight is the highly qualified instructional aid training. That was new this past year. Sevastopol was intentional that said all of our associates needed to be trained, highly qualified, trained in the areas of reading, writing, and math. So they went through the process, became highly trained, went through a course with Diane Jenkwin, and every one of them successfully passed the course and has the tools that they need to be able to be effective when they walk into the classrooms and work with the students that they need to every day. So we're really, really proud of that. It was a lot of effort, and it was a lot of work to get it going, but the staff did an amazing job, and we hope to continue to do that with every staff person or instructional aide that comes through and works at Sevastopol, because our kids deserve that. The pupil service training and support, we definitely had a lot of highlights this year. The first one that I want to highlight is all Allies in Autism, and that was a collective of special education teachers who worked for, I would say, I believe it's 4 years, went and had special training for autism and came back and implemented those supports back to classroom teachers to be able to use for our students who are on the spectrum. The staff that went down there were very, very excited with what they learned. It became a culture within our school, and we're still utilizing those practices today. Specifically, I can say the entire elementary school is very, very familiar with the zones of regulation. Teachers are implementing that, not just our special education teachers, but it's common language throughout the elementary school that still persists today, which is really wonderful. We have special education teacher training for all associates. It was really, really important that our associates get professional development, and finding ways to give them professional development. For the number one reason is because they deserve it and they asked for it. So the special education teachers specifically came up with professional development opportunities. It was on a quarterly basis, and we run professional development for the associates. Some of the Some of the professional development opportunities that we had were for behavior management, the benefits of inclusion. There was one for taking data, and then the other one was just more behavior management techniques. So there were 4 of them total, and the associates came, they signed up for it, and they came to it and got what they needed to be successful. The third one I'd like to highlight is our increased level literacy intervention training. Many, many teachers and associates were trained in LLI. So again, it goes back to literacy and making sure all of our students are reading at grade level, and if not, then coming up with individualized plans to get them there. The LLI program was one of the programs that we used, and it was universal throughout the school, from 4K all the way to 12, if they needed it in 12. And then the last one I'd like to talk about is the Special Education IEP audit, which was a really great opportunity. It was a lot of effort to pull all of our resources together, look at what the special education department is doing, and making sure that we are compliant with the law to meet the needs of the students. It was a very rich opportunity. It gave the special education teachers and the director of pupil services a lot of information on the things that Sevastopol does well and the things that Sevastopol wants to continue to improve on in the future. So it was a very good exercise. We're thankful for it because we learned a lot, and we'll continue to implement what we learned for the future.
Thank you, Mrs. Margraf. I appreciate that. And I just want to pick up and talk a little bit about effectiveness coaching. As Mrs. Margraf mentioned, our greatest strength here at Sevastopol is our staff. We have a tremendous staff, and we need to continue to put resources in place to support them. So we've been involved in a collaborative grant with other Door County schools to support and mentor our new staff. Again, this last year and next year, we are part of that grant effort, and we'll be training our teacher mentors. We'll also be training veteran staff so that they can better support younger staff with professional development plans and be a resource to them as well. So there's a lot of co-teaching on our staff as well. The other thing, we're in our 5th year of educator effectiveness, and we support all of our staff with professional growth plans and student learning objectives. These are data-driven goals. So our staff sets data goals for achievement for their students, and then we follow that throughout the academic year to make sure that we achieve those. So it's really, really a positive step, and we continue to support, as administrators, every single one of our staff members in the building with those goals. The next thing is technology training. This is an annual goal, and it's ongoing. It's always going to be ongoing as technology plays a bigger role in education. So every year there are opportunities for our staff, and they're too numerous to number. But there are some models that I've really seen be successful where our teachers are going and getting trained and bringing it back to our staff, but also sharing it amongst Door County teachers, where we have teachers teaching teachers, which is really a nice effort. So that's outstanding, and I know that that will continue. The last piece that I'd like to speak to is school assessment and data analysis. Our staff is getting better every year at using data for the purposes of identifying instructional gaps, finding out where we're falling short, and then we can revise our curriculum and make adjustments and make sure we improve. It's all about student opportunities, but our teams meet around data every single week, sometimes every single day. So that really is a positive direction. A big part of that has been the reinsurgent of our staff development team, so they have monthly meetings and even more frequently in order to look at where the needs are within our district so we can roll out more professional development and really support that. But district analysis of state reports, as I said, is a really important part of our job, so we meet every student's individual need. Aaron's going to talk a little bit now about elementary assessment achievement. Please.
Taking a look at the elementary math scores for the Wisconsin Forward exam. Just taking a quick look, grade 3 ended up scoring higher than the Wisconsin students that were at their same grade level. Similar to grade 5, which was significantly higher than the state level. Grade 4, you do see a drop, and in taking a look at last year's scores when those students were third graders, they were ahead of the state average. One of the things that we are going to be taking a look at is trying to determine what was or were the causes that may have made that shift. I am aware historically, obviously I was not here, but I was made aware historically that that particular class is a larger group and that there were some adjustments that needed to be made in terms of making that smaller sections and adding some staff to work with them. So some of those transitions certainly could have played a part, and that's something that we'll be taking a look at. Similar in English, our grade 3 scored higher than the Wisconsin average. Grade 4 was close in terms of their score, but was down. And again, in third grade, they were higher than the state average. Grade 5, significantly higher than their Wisconsin student counterparts. So again, here in the English area, we'll take a look at that grade and see what other issues may have played a part in that particular situation. Mr. Bear?
Thank you. I'm going to show you the same information for middle school. And this is middle school math scores, and it represents 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. Sevastopol is the red, and the state average is the gold bar. This demonstrates that our students are far exceeding the expectations of the state of Wisconsin. We have more students that are proficient level than the state average by almost 40%, which is an outstanding accomplishment across all those grade levels. In addition to that, I just want to note that last year's scores, according to our state report card, which is the state's tool for evaluating schools, we were the second highest achieving district in the state of Wisconsin. And this score this year is 4 points higher than last year. So I'm really impressed with our math accomplishment this year, and our teachers across the board, elementary through middle school, and everybody that adds at high school as well, deserves some credit for these wonderful scores. We'll look at the same information for middle school English. Again, the scores are very, very good. 39% if you take the average above the state average. And these scores represent an increase from last year, but it's less than a point. But it still is an increase from last year where we had outstanding district performance. So again, there's growth there. What I like to see and what I always look for is, of course, we want to score 100% every single time. But the other thing that we want to do is we want to maintain these good academic scores. So when I look back This is starting my 10th year. Over the last 10 years, these scores are as good as any. So we're really, really impressed with how our students continue to perform. The next thing that I have is our high school state assessment is actually the ACT test, and we've talked about that before. That's a test that tells us the students' ability to pass college freshman courses. So it's basically a college entrance test, but the state of Wisconsin decided to use this as a benchmark for our students 3 or 4 years ago. I can't remember exactly when that date was. But what I've done here is I've compared the class of 2017, the graduating class of 2017, with conference schools in our conference. So you can take a look at, this is Sevastopol right here, this is the state of Wisconsin, and then all the other bars indicate conference schools within our Packer-Land conference. A couple things that I just want you to be aware of is, yes, this is 2017 information. That's because the graduating class of 2018, that data is not complete because those students can continue to test through the summer. So that is not released to anybody at this point. We've always used the previous class because that's the only information that is available to us. But what this shows is it shows that actually the state average was 20.3. The conference average, if you take those schools, it actually turned out to be the same as 20.3. So our students were 1.9 points ahead of the state and conference. So that's an outstanding accomplishment. This test is also given to students in their junior year. Late February, early March, all of our juniors take this test. Remember, it's a test for college readiness. So what I'm representing now is our junior class last year when they took this test in February. Remember, what I want to point out is that the students did not do as well as the state average last year, okay? But this is a measure of college readiness. These students have a whole other year with us. We recognize that this gives us an opportunity to work. It's a benchmark test. We took a benchmark, we see that we've got some work to do, and we talked about it even today as a staff. It's something that we're ready to do. What I do want to do is point out we did further than that. This isn't where we stop. It's important to look at our class and how they achieve. So the next graph right here shows you the percentage of students that are ready for 1, 2, 3, and 4 college classes. So what I'm showing here is that even though they're not scoring that high, about 70% of our students are already ready for 1 college course as a freshman. So we still are getting kids ready in their junior year for those college courses, which I think is an important point to make. But as I said, there's definitely room for growth, and we're going to work on that. All right, Mrs. Margraff's going to talk about some highlights.
We have many highlights to share tonight. The first one is that Sevastopol School District was the second highest achieving school district in Wisconsin according to the state report card. Very proud of that. Second highlight I'd like to share is that Sevastopol Elementary and Middle School exceeded Wisconsin expectations according to Wisconsin's accountability system. Oh, I'm the third one. I'm the third one.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm the third one too. The final one that I'll talk about on this slide here is that we increased student post-high school transition success by collaborating with outside agencies. Really, I know a little bit more about this one here. We've been collaborating with more outside programs, specifically for our students who are in the special education department, to offer other opportunities for them for job readiness and work readiness and life skills. So it's been really nice to collaborate with our community partners. There's many of them, and I look forward to continuing to develop more opportunities and relationships with the partners that we have in Door County.
Thank you. And I just wanted to mention we've had a lot of discussions tonight already about academic and career planning and preparing kids for post-high school opportunities. And this was the first year that we actually were recognized this, but Sevastopol High School was recognized as a 2018 School for Advanced Placement Access and Success. So that means that our students are taking AP tests at a high rate, and they're succeeding or scoring above the average at a high rate. And it's the first time that we achieved that mark, so I'm really proud of that. The other thing that we did accomplish, and we've had this honor a few times, but Sevastopol High School was recognized as one of America's best high schools according to U.S. News and World Reports.
Briefly, I want to touch on the support of the PTO and some of the things that they were able to help us do this past year, which included supporting our students who were involved in an art show, art fair at Stone Harbor, for example. supported us with some funding for improving the Eco Lab that we have here on campus, the annual turkey trot, and a number of other events. So very active PTO, very supportive, very appreciated. Our school enrollment continues to increase district-wide, and that is exciting to see, especially, again, historically. I know that that wasn't necessarily the case about 5-6 years ago, so it's exciting to see that trend heading in that direction. Also, something to be very proud of is Sevastopol's Destination Imagination program and the success of having 7 teams that qualified for state. 4 of those teams qualified for global. 2 of them were elementary, 1 middle school, and high school. So it is something that you're seeing across the board. It is not limited to one particular grade level area. So kudos to Sevastopol School District for that. I'll turn it back over to Elizabeth. Is it me? Something like that. A couple of other quick things in terms of some things that we're looking forward to working on. We will continue to work on closing the achievement gap. That is something that is a goal of every district in the state of Wisconsin. Sevastopol does a very good job of that, hence the state report card being as good as it is. We will continue to do that across the board. Curriculum review, we have a cycle of review, and this particular year, English Language Arts is up for that review.
Okay, looking ahead, universal instruction is also incredibly important. It's been on this report before. It will be on this report in the future. Our goal is to always have individualized learning plans for students. Each student is unique. And they need different things to be successful. Our teachers are aware of that. The administrative staff is here to support them in what they need to be able to do that. In addition, we're always looking for student growth. You know, those individualized learning plans will promote that student growth. So it is something that we're going to continue to look forward to help support. Additionally, a lot of focus this year on mental health for our students, making sure that our students are that are healthy emotionally when they come to school. Some of the things that we are intentional about bringing into the school, learning about ourselves. The first one is trauma-informed care. We have a team of dedicated people already that are going to get the training and bring that back to Sevastopol teachers and communities, so teachers are equipped with what they need to help students. Many of our staff this summer attended the mental health first aid. I believe it was 25 of our staff? About 20 of our staff went. Got a lot of information about in mental health first aid, and again, bringing that back to the teachers and to the community, so we are well equipped to work with our students who need it. And then finally, the Door County Mental Health Collaborative, or STRIVE. We've made great progress this year and hope to have a therapist within our school by the end of October. So again, it's very exciting. We've made more movement this past school year to promote these services for students. Again, it's a collaboration with Door County, you know, the providers that are out there, and it's just been really exciting to be a part of that, and we will continue to make sure that the services are here in school for students who need those needs to be successful. So we're happy about that. Mr. Bear?
Thank you. And I hope you can see how important our academic and career goals are. We're going to continue to support kids with academic and career planning. We also, with our team in place, are really looking to foster the collaborative effort around students and students' needs. This year, more than ever, we made some physical changes within our building. We moved our elementary office, so it's down in our secondary location. And I also already see Kyle leading us in a direction where we have more staff development and training as a larger group. So there's a lot of opportunities in a small K-12 building. We're not that big, to get to know our kids, to get to know our staff, our strengths, and then share that as a resource. So I'm really excited about that collaborative work in the year moving forward. Last thing that I'd like to do is we have the honor and privilege to stand up here and reflect all of the great things that happened last year in our school. There are a great number of people that stand behind us. And We're very fortunate in Sevastopol to have a phenomenal teaching staff, people that come to work every day with their hearts for the right reasons and really caring about our students. So I think we all want to acknowledge our staff and realize that they do the real work, and we just remove those barriers. So we're very lucky to have the staff that we work with. We're also lucky, and I realize that we're lucky to work with the community that we work with. Each day we know when we pick up the phone and call home that there's a parent that's there to support us. So I'm very thankful for the community support. I think our values as a community and our educational values are not matched by many, if anybody. So we're very lucky to work in the school. And of course, there's a great number of people around our community that support our school that aren't directly associated with it, but there's a lot of positive feelings about Sevastopol, and I thank them. So we'd like the community to know that we're honored to serve, and we're available to any of our community members if you ever have questions or can help our efforts to support Sevastopol students. So thank you for the opportunity to present today. Anybody, anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Edmonton. Moving on to section 8, we're going to do the 2017-2018 budget presentation and hearing of Mr. Lipke. Take it away.
Yep. That's great, yeah. That's yeah, I need the other one. It's okay. All right, looking ahead for the 2018-19 school year, which started for us July 1st, financially. Our projected revenues, and all these are projections because we don't know what it'll be until the year plays out. We expect our Fund 10 revenues to be $9,254,542. Our Fund 10 expenditures is $9,737,851. That starts the budget process back in March when the teachers start handing in their requests, which go to the principals, which end up in the district office. And Fund 10 also has to support Funds 27 and Fund 50. So for 18-19, we have a budget deficit of $483,309. This is our head count for coming in the doors as of 8/16/2018, and as of right now, this changes daily as we just had 2 new students walk in today. So these numbers are as of the 16th. It's actual physical people that are here, including open enrollment, right, Carl? Including open enrollment. So when DPI counts them, not all kids count the same. 4K and early childhood kids only count as 0.6 FTE, full-time equivalency. And the open enrollment students, we get a rate, the state sets a rate every year for what they bring to us for revenue, which I don't like to talk about kids as revenue, but that's what they are at the end of the day when it comes to financials. So our revenue limit decrease 17-18 was $7,679,433. 18-19, the revenue limit will be, and this is anticipated to be based on enrollment on the 3rd Friday in September, $7,581,213. So decreased allowable revenue of $98,220. For tax levy purposes, our general fund will be $7,429,268. Our debt service fund is the energy efficiency program that we entered a few years ago, which still has 6 more years on it. That's $131,945. That amount has to come off the top. And community service fund and Fund 80 is $20,000 for a total of $7,581,213. Estimated at this time, our proposed tax rate would be a mill rate of $5.52. That's based on the property value of the whole district. That divides out with what we're allowed to collect as a district over that value of property. So that's a projection at this point. We'll know that number by mid-October, October 16th, we'll know that number.
on to section 9. I'm looking for a motion to approve the approval of the 2018-2019 school tax levy that is on page 9.
I move that we approve the 2018-2019 school tax levy of $7,581,213.
Need a second.
Second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that is approved.
Perfect.
All right, moving on to section 10, grant board authority to sell excess personal property.
Looking for a motion.
Looking for a motion?
I'll move to grant the board authority to sell excess personal property.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Moving on for a motion to grant board authority to transfer sale of property. Second.
I'll move that we grant the school board authority to transfer sale of property.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that is approved as well. All right.
I said, you're an actor.
Oh, I've seen a few. All right, moving on to section 12, to establish the 2018-2019 school board salaries. 2017-2018 salaries were 200. Wait, I missed one?
No, there are.
Could be
Right.
anything.
I don't think this one in there. Never mind. My bad.
Continue on. Salaries are $247 per month per board member and a $50 per diem for each meeting attended outside the district and mileage to and from meetings out of the district in accordance with federal guidelines.
Looking for a motion.
Do we have a motion for that?
I will move to have the 2018-19 salaries remain at $245 per month and $50 per diem for each meeting outside the district.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that is approved as well. All right, moving on to section 13, to establish the 2019 annual meeting time, place, and date. Grant board authority to change if necessary. Have a motion.
Do we have a proposed date?
August 27, 2019, which is the fourth Tuesday of August.
I move that we set the 2019 annual meeting date as August
7th.
27th, 2019 at 6:30 PM with authority to the board to change the date if necessary.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, we are approved. Okay, and then moving 14, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, roll call.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then we are adjourned as of 7:17
19.
PM. Thank you, everyone.